There was a video here by Matt Season that I actually really wanted to watch with you guys called Why MMORPGs Are Stagnant and Dying. So let's jump straight into it, guys, and let's see this. 2005.
The year is 2005.
Yeah.
It's Friday night.
Oh
you
my
just
God.
finished your shift, and you open up your flip phone to a text from your guildmate.
Dude.
Want to tank Strath? Little did you know, this was the best that life was ever going to get.
Oh shoot.
The MMORPG was
gonna be a
once
doomer
a
video.
genre that was thriving. To enter an always persistent online virtual world filled with millions of other like-minded adventurers
Oh my God.
was a concept as mind-blowing as it was exciting. And today, people are left with fond memories that are built to last a lifetime. However, as time has passed, it's become more and more apparent that their unique appeal has dwindled, and many lament that the magic that had once captivated them has faded, but they never seem to extrapolate why. Well, probably because they're just looking to vent, and they don't want to fully commit,
I think so.
lest they come off as a no-life nerd. But luckily for you, that is something I have no problem with.
That's good.
So,
okay.
What exactly is the magic? Well, in the context of the MMORPG, it's a combination of things. It's what you felt the first time that you stepped into this unknown world.
Oh my God.
And that's the word of the day here. The systems are unknown, the characters, the quests, abilities, spells.
I really think this is like the essence of why people have such a nostalgic feeling about playing some games for the first time, because it's exploring it, getting lost in Malcore, trying to find a water tower, doing your first dungeon, finding your first sea monster in a big world and stuff like that. It's just amazing. It's really something you can really captivate, and that's why so many people are always like, oh, I wish I could go back and do it for the first time again, right? Because you will never really catch that feeling, even though for me, Classic WoW is an amazing game and I still play it. It'll still never be the same as it was for the first time, right? It will never really be. The human brain craves new experiences. It's like heroin. For sure, I think, and you're always searching for that new high as that you have back in the day when you played it for the first time, right? Like a lot of people are like searching for that WoW killer, that new MMO that can give them that same feeling that WoW originally did, right?
The magic is the feeling of wonder and mystery that you get from a world of discovery filled with other people.
Oh my God, remember this,
discover it with.
New World.
You see, MMOs are a lot like fluid exchange.
What?
Everyone remembers their first time. You're level 1.
Oh,
you don't really know what you're doing.
Okay.
And you're also paying for it.
Okay.
It's that moment in the Ocarina of Time when you first enter Hyrule Field.
Dude, this freaked me out, man. When I entered the Hyrule Field and it turned nighttime and those skeletons came up from the ground, it freaked me out as a kid, okay? The furthest I got in Ocarina of Time is I got to that graveyard where those ghosts are. I couldn't play anymore because it was too goddamn scary. I'm not a puso.
Fantasy VII,
This,
you exit
oh my God, too.
or you leave your house to refill on Hot Pockets. It's the adventure and even the intimidation that comes from the unknown.
Yeah.
And as soon as you lose that, you lose the magic because the unknown disguises the treadmill.
Oh God, it
And to
becomes a
understand
crime.
this, we must first examine how games function on a fundamental level.
Okay. Holy, is that how they function? Okay. Is that really how they function, though? Okay.
Flip phone dungeon invite was real. That comment hit me with a nostalgia bat heart.
I know, dude. Of dialing up the landline to ask if your boys could play, right? Thank you, Gortek.
So, why do games exist? They don't serve any purpose that's critical to our survival. They were created as mediums from which to draw entertainment.
People crave entertainment.
Every game ever made is constructed to reward you for outperforming or outwitting an opponent, whether they be a robot or a person.
Yep.
In chess, the problem is capturing the enemy king without losing yours, and the solution is to outwit your opponent by busting out that queen on turn 2, yo.
Oh. Well, that's easy clap, I guess.
In XCOM, you have to make a 99% shot to kill an alien.
Okay.
And then you break your keyboard over your knee.
It's like dopamine.
Miss.
Oh. How did he even...
I quit. I quit! I quit!
And in life, the problem is to not starve to death and the solution is to work, making a large amount of money for someone else and a fraction for yourself until you die.
Okay.
And as for the MMORPG, much like life itself, you are handed many problems.
I think a lot of people, this is going to be kind of quite doomer as well, but a lot of people, they kind of like play games to like escape, you know, escape into like a more like, it's just like a fantasy world where you can hang out with your friends, you can like, you know, be like a different person and stuff like that. To a certain degree, that is a very, very big thing that a lot of people do. Myself as well, like it's something you go in, even if you have a horrible day, like stuff is going wrong and everything like that, you know, you can go home, you can log in, you can hang out with people on Discord, and you can just have a good time. And I think that's good. A lot of people say like, you know, video games suck and they're like a waste of time. If you're having a great time, like, you know, and enjoying yourself, that's not really wasting time, because like, you know, you gotta have some sort of like entertainment and fun as well, right? Can't all just be about the grind.
If you are level 1, you must reach level 2 by killing enemies and completing quests.
Investment.
If you don't have enough money to buy things, you must extract it from the world.
But it's
by
fun.
Killing enemies and completing quests. Or by completely skipping the entire point of the game to begin with, by purchasing currency.
Easy clap.
To advance to the next PvP rank, you must kill other players in-game. To unlock this vendor, you must farm reputation. And to upgrade your questing gear, you must clear dungeons. And to upgrade your dungeon gear, you must find 20 other people with nothing better to do. And sit down with them for 4 hours
Yell
a
at
day
each other.
so you can raid. The MMO is a special case though, because there's some complexities and variables at play. First is their multiplayer, meaning that user experience is wildly variable.
And like the thing is, you can share the experience as well with other players, and I think that's what makes MMOs so great. It's a shareable experience that you have with other people and friends and stuff, right?
2 people who pick the same
They're having so much
race
fun in
the
League,
same class will have 2 extremely different experiences. And as for number 2, they are of course long form. This
Very
isn't a
long
Zelda
form.
game where you just pick up the controller and you have a relatively predetermined amount of time before you hit the credit screen. Content, character progression, and ways to pay real money for character progression.
Oh my god, this thing was so stupid, man. I know they got a lot of flame for this set, I think, because it just didn't look that great. Was it? No, it wasn't this one. Oh, sorry, I don't think it was this one. I think there was like another set that looked really, really horrible, and they got a lot of flame for it.
Progression is constantly added in order to extend or even erase the finish line entirely. And not only that, but even the direction and quality of the content changes as the people developing them and
they got a lot of backlash for it, Labyrinth.
Change. But even though they are perhaps the most complex genre of game, they can all be broken down into the following. Whether it be PvP, raiding,
look at the music,
accumulation, collections, or even things such as social status. The goal is to extract advancement from an online world, where each day, no matter how minuscule it may be, the player is able to progress in some way. And the method for delivering this progression is known as the carrot and treadmill system.
You will never reach it.
Are represented by the carrot, and the method of obtaining them by the treadmill. And it's the very tough job of the developer to create both the rewards and also the obstacles that the
you have to constantly make like a new reward that people will look forward to getting, right?
Players must traverse through or around to obtain them. And while a skilled developer will be able to create a treadmill that's fun and rewarding, an exceptional one will be able to disguise it such that the player is completely unaware of what lies beneath their own feet. Or alternatively, you can just sell the player the carrot. So, for everyone's first MMO, not only are they unfamiliar with this design, they aren't even aware of its existence. They barely even know how to play, let alone the mechanisms running behind the scenes that drives them to play.
And that's what
it's the goal and desire.
You don't want to see
the developer to manipulate their game such that when the players look at it, they don't see a treadmill. They see a fun and exciting adventure, because that is the feeling of wonder and mystery that everyone remembers from their first MMO, and that is what is associated with
unknown.
What is colloquially known as the magic.
Makes sense.
Where new things are learned.
It's almost explained in a kind of depressing way with the treadmill and stuff, but it really is true,
Skills are honed with each passing
Warrior
day.
Chris.
That is how most every MMO is designed. It's likely that's how they'll always be designed, at least in some way.
Yep.
But it holds one fatal flaw. When the appeal is derived from the unknown, it means that it's also fleeting. In fact, it degrades at a rate inversely proportional to how effective it is. The more fun you have, the more you play. And the more you research how to play, or what you're going to be playing.
You suck it out, the magic.
It even releases on websites such as YouTube or Twitch, for instance.
It's very, I mean, it's a whole different world right nowadays than from back in the day. It was a true letter. I guess back in the day, we also had Thoughtbot and stuff like that to look up stuff, but nowadays it's just way more abundant and people burn out on games way faster because they just play so much more intensely, right?
And so the player base is continuously drawing from this amalgamative pool of the unknown. It is a resource that is expended faster than it could possibly ever be replenished because it functions similarly to everyone's favorite thing after MMOs.
Drugs.
Drugs.
Oh, okay.
Your brain. This is World of Warcraft. This is what happens to your brain after playing World of Warcraft.
Oh shit.
This is what your family goes through. And your friends and mine.
Okay. That's what happens when you play WoW, guys.
Any questions?
World of Warcraft. Try it for free at warcraft.com.
Yeah.
Was that an actual ad? I remember those like those with like Ozzy Osbourne and like Mr. T and stuff. Was that actually a commercial for WoW? No? Okay. Okay. I was a little bit... Guys, I'm Danish. Alright, let's keep watching.
Yeah, it's that good shit. A good old dopamine orgy. But, like with any drug, you build up a resistance to it, and to obtain the same high, you must incrementally increase consumption.
Okay, that's a really weird place to pause, but that's why, dude, TikTok and like YouTube Shorts and Instagram, it literally breaks our dopamine receptors, man, because we just get filled with constant new content always, and we can never get enough. You will never be happy enough because there's always more, right? And it's actually a really bad thing. It makes you like really like have a lot less patience and attention in general, just like with video games and real life and just with everything. It's crazy.
Over time, achieving the same level of satisfaction.
That's why streamers have zero attention span? Yeah, me too.
And greater level of commitment.
Get the mascot involved, that's right. The guy in the bear outfit. I'm so desensitized. It's gotta be just completely bananas to get me off.
And developers have it tough, to say the least. Capturing the magic in the late 90s and early 2000s was a far simpler feat for a variety of reasons.
There's just so much more nowadays. It's almost a bad thing that you have too much to choose from. Genuinely. Like, the less is almost more when it comes to this, right? You can Google TikTok brain if you wish to learn more about the phenomenon. I mean, I'm pretty aware of it, right? But it's pretty insane when you think about it, actually. How much it's changed.
Today, when you say MMORPG, anyone even remotely familiar with games knows exactly what they are.
Yep.
You can safely shut down your MySpace because this isn't 2004 anymore. The genre has sort of been done, even more so than your mom. And
what the fuck?
It hasn't just been done, much like your mom, it's been redone, watered down, and re-watered down 1,000 times over. And the player now knows more, both as a whole and as an individual. And just as how this has progressed
these videos
internally by experiencing them, so too has it.
I miss Blockbuster, man. Dude. Going to Blockbuster, you know, you could like, you know, rent 3 movies for a certain price, man. You bring them home, you watch the 3 movies with the boys. I kind of miss that, man. It's almost so bad that we have everything so accessible nowadays.
That externally, as the world around has also, of course, evolved.
Yep.
Yeah, you know that other MMO known as Life, where you get one character, PvP is always enabled.
Get you, bitch.
If you die once, that's
Holy
it.
Shit.
And you have to keep doing this preventative maintenance on your food and drink bars. It's a little too hardcore for me. But as far as knowledge is concerned, social media in the late 90s and early 2000s was different.
What am I watching?
Than it is today, I suppose.
What is this?
Pictures loaded like this.
Oi!
eBaum's World was the most popular video sharing website.
Oh my
and
god.
thought was a word associated with a database website.
We had a website in Denmark called eHimlen, okay? And if you're Danish, you probably know what's up. Yep.
And as for YouTube, it didn't exist.
Yep.
We now live in an age with data mining and streamers.
Yo, Ruby,
and
thank you. Thank you for the sub.
Blow up doll thing at some amazing, oh my god, piece of news that you just have to see because this is so insane. Oh my.
You put a literal. Oh my god, guys. Dude, I can't even hate on it because I can't do it myself as well, right? That's just how YouTube works, man, okay? Like, it really is, dude. Like, if you do a dungeon or, like, do something and you want to, like, make it appeal to people on YouTube, you kind of have to be like, this is the most insane dungeon I've ever done. Or, like, I cannot believe this happened. Instead of just, like, hey, guys, we did TRTC today. You know, it's really how it works, man. It's so weird, but that's how YouTube is now.
My gosh, the purpose of alphas and betas has shifted away from testing to advertising vehicles.
Oh god, double
and
down.
No matter how complex or intricate the systems are, no matter how many months or years they take to design, they are solved before they even release. Something that MMO developers have learned over the years is that the player must be protected from themselves.
Yep.
To create a treadmill that doles out rewards in a fun and healthy manner is a delicate procedure, as in a way, the player will fight against it. The treadmill must be as entertaining as the carrot is valuable. As a large
to enjoy the grind
between the two will not stop them in their pursuit and sabotaging their own satisfaction in the process. If it is more efficient to tumble down a flight of stairs to obtain the carrot, that's what they'll do. They'll cast aside their own enjoyment of what is supposed to be a fun journey in exchange for this hypnotizing carrot.
I think for a lot of people, it ain't really about the journey anymore. As much as I try to preach it and talk about it all the time, people don't care about the journey. They literally just want to get to the end as fast as possible. I've said this a few times before as well, but like whenever Elden Ring came out, I remember I was watching the directory and like going down the video games and see what people were doing. There were players literally Googling every single like weapon, where they were in the game, where all the graces were, which is like save points, and how to get the best possible gear, just so they can get to the end game as fast as possible. Like people play games in a different way, like in general, though. Baldur's Gate proves this wrong, though. Well, I don't think this is like a thing where it's like, it's how everybody is and it's how the whole world is. But I think in general, people are a lot more inclined to get to the end game as fast as possible and to min-max. If there's a possible way of you to do it in a certain way, people will do it in the most efficient way possible, right? I think Baldur's Gate is probably like a different whole thing altogether because the game is designed in a whole different way than most other games really are. It's a D&D, right? It's a story kind of game, and I think story games are different in that regard. So yeah, streamers aren't gamers; they're entertainers. I don't think that. I mean, yeah, streamers are obviously entertainers, but I think a lot of streamers also are gamers, right? I don't know. It depends on the streamer, I guess.
And going through any means necessary, even spoiling the actual experience in the process by doing horrible, unfun shit. And what's more, even if you, the individual, consciously avoid this, you're still affected by it because it's, of course, multiplayer.
Yep.
Knowledge is power. And not just in the world of video games. And luckily, engorging your brain with infinite knowledge is not only easy, but free with Brilliant, the premier way to learn math, data science, and computer science.
Is it an ad? Oh, it's an ad! I was vibing to the music, man. Okay, we're watching an ad now. Okay.
Brilliant is an online tool that makes learning fun, interesting, and exciting.
Okay, I'll
with
take
thousands of lessons to accommodate people of
I'll
all
take
backgrounds.
it. Asman, what's up?
From beginner to advanced, your lessons are customized to suit your specific needs.
I really like when they do like this.
To fit at your own pace. And the reason why it's my favorite learning tool on the Citadel is because it's gamified. Each lesson you complete gives you experience points. There's a leveling system, and even leagues that you can compete.
Actually, I know I'm pausing on an ad now to talk, but things like this are actually like a cool way of learning, because you're almost gamifying, like, you know, learning. Same thing with like the Duolingo stuff. People that are like Duolingoing for like languages and stuff like that. You're making it into a game, and you kind of like chasing that carrot as well to like learn a real life skill, which is cool.
If you're like me and you're competitive, like the time I got rank 14
cool.
in the recreation of a 15-year-old video game.
Oh god.
You know, just in case you forgot. But it actually makes it really fun and RPG-like.
Happy birthday, Sub Gaming.
And it makes you feel like you make progress every day.
Happy birthday.
You can take it on the go, on your phone or tablet if you want. And lessons can be as short as a few minutes, so it's not something that you really have to set
I'm not chasing the sponsor because I want to get sponsored as well. Like, you know, it is what it is. I'm just saying it's a good way of, you know.
Aside for, in case your dungeon queue pops or something, you can get started today. The first 30 days are free, so there's not this huge commitment. And the first 200 people to use my promo URL at brilliant.org/madseasonshow get 20% off the annual plan.
Badass.
But knowledge in all forms is power.
Back
The
to the
availability of information creates a compulsion to obtain it. A player who knows the optimal rotation of their class, the strategy to kill a boss, or the best way of farming currency, or the best strategy in PvP will vastly outperform a player who doesn't.
Yep.
They will get more opportunities, they will progress faster.
Get invited more to dungeons.
The entire genre today is designed assuming that players are obtaining all of this information not from the game, but from third-party websites.
From online, yeah.
I mean, it's to the point where you have World of Warcraft GMs just telling you to look it up on Wowhead.
Really?
A person who blinds themselves to information and optimization for the sake of desperately trying to recapture the magic that attracts.
I feel like this argument that he's making goes very well with an online game where you play with other players. But if you're playing a solo game just by yourself, like, you know, like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Zelda, whatever the heck you're playing by yourself, I think it's almost more fun to not look up stuff and just really take your time with it. But in an online game where there's other people being affected with it, and like your progress is within other players' reach as well, then I definitely agree with the sentiment. But if you're just playing by yourself, do yourself a favor almost and don't look up stuff, because it's just more fun, you know, experiencing the game and like exploring a game by yourself. Really, it's so good. Big real and true. Yeah, I think it's more entertaining and more fun that way.
Them to begin with is ostracized by their guild as dead weight.
It's weird, Nonada. I don't get it.
They will always be behind, and they will always have to have a bit of slack picked up for them.
Yeah.
So, whether it be forums, streams, YouTube, Discord, information is as available as
it's crazy.
Ever been, and combined with the fact that it's human nature to play games as efficiently as possible, what used to be an ocean of the undiscovered is now a puddle that's desperately lorded over by a player base with a full belly and a question in their head asking, where's the magic gone? That's not even getting to the worst part.
I feel like it's also, okay, I'm going to say, some streamers, man, whenever a game comes out, they just try to make it the most fast possible playthrough they possibly can, because if you're the first streamer to beat the game, you get the most views, you get the first person to upload the videos, and you get, it's like, it's a whole thing as well, man. Like, people are way too concerned about, you know, getting to the end game goal as fast as possible. How's jail going for you? I'm not in jail.
And that's the fact that it is not
with RuneScape 2? Yeah, MMOs.
To change.
It's MMOs, man. Chapter 2, oh god. Stagnation.
The MMO is also on the decline because it's a genre that encourages iteration over innovation.
Yeah.
But before you paint a target on the back of modern MMO developers, the true source can be traced back to the year 2004 with the release of an MMO that you may be familiar with.
Wow.
The success of World of Warcraft both reinvigorated and doomed the MMORPG
10 million gamers.
As it brought in an audience so large that it ended any questions regarding the magic formula.
Jeff, thank you.
Up until this point, MMOs were in their growing stages. The genre was as popular as my Tinder profile, and while some saw moderate success, partly due to their expense and large time commitment, there had yet to be one to find a formula popular enough to break.
I think it's almost an issue that WoW became so popular because every single game since then has kind of tried to make the new WoW, right?
Into the mainstream. But because of this, experimentation was rampant as developers were still trying to find what did and what didn't work, and as a result, uniqueness, ironically enough, was commonplace. However, when World of Warcraft hit store shelves in November of 2004, the answer from then on was theme park at the expense of sandbox, linearity at the expense of open-endedness,
it's a shame,
and
almost
handcrafted developer-made content over player-made content. The solution was discovered, and with it came the end of experimentation, and consequently, what followed was stagnation.
To a certain degree, yeah, for sure.
Lord of the Rings Online, Warhammer. Good luck with the second one.
Oh my, sorry. I remember.
Warhammer.
Oh my god, dude, Jesus Christ.
Good luck with the second one, by the way. Age of Conan, Aeon,
I played
Star
that one
Wars,
too.
The Old Republic, Final Fantasy, whatever. You level to the max through a mostly linear campaign of quests.
They're very similar, yeah.
Do dungeons. After dungeons, you raid. PvP, maybe cyber, and then complain on the forums that there's nothing to do until the next patch comes out. And it's pretty easy to understand why. It's because experimentation most often results in failure. MMOs.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. Obviously, there is some outliers that are different, but the general idea of MMOs were kind of fixed towards that design.
Those are extremely expensive to develop. The ongoing support that they need is astronomical.
So much.
The worlds they demand are massive. The systems are complex, as their effect largely depends on the ever-changing community. These aren't single-player games where developers can create these contained experiences to be played in a very controlled and specific way. In a Mario game, Person A is going to relatively have a similar experience to Person B, and this can be said for most any single-player game, with the exception being the more open-ended ones, such as Elder Scrolls or Elden Ring, for example.
Dude, these games could be fun to play through one day, man. I swear, dude. Doing some Dark Souls, doing some Skyrim, Fallout, those games are really good, dude.
Oblivion is out! Yeah!
But still,
yes, please, maybe one day,
people that finish a game do so in a pretty similar and controlled fashion. However, in the world of MMOs, there are hundreds of different activities and different ways to play.
So much.
Whereas one player primarily raids, another PvPs, another collects, another gathers resources, or maybe this other guy just quests.
Yeah, Skyrim with mods could be super fun. Maybe one day, guys. Maybe one day. Currently, we're probably going to be focusing a lot on the hardcore, but perhaps one day, right? We'll see. We'll see. That is definitely something that I would like to do one day, like more of those kind of games too. That'd be dope.
Or cybers, or maybe a little bit of everything. And due to the fact that they are generally designed to be experienced with other players, an uncountable amount of variables are introduced that have drastic effects on player experience. A new player in scenario A may get into the game and happen to run into someone
they
become friends with, join their guild, become friends with them, raid with them, and before you know it, it's 20 years later, and you're about 30 pounds fatter.
Hey! Dude, what?
And 50% balder. Alternatively,
okay, dude, listen.
Scenario B, this very same player, maybe instead of meeting a friend, instead met an asshole. Maybe they only last a few weeks. The game is exactly the same, barring add-ons. When they're installed, everyone has the same files and the same interface,
it's been maxed.
the same problems, and the same tools with which to solve them. Yet, the experience is so drastically different.
Oh, dude, this is Age of Conan, dude. Age of Conan was a really interesting game. You see those little bars on the side? Those are like the defense. So like you could attack from overhead on the sides and everything like that. And whenever you made an attack, you had to do a little combo string of like a up, down, left, right, center and stuff like that. And then you would do the actual attack. It was a very, very interesting MMO, honestly. The beginning was like super well, like, you know, there was voice actors, the quest was cool. But then when you left the opening zone, there was just no more voice acting and they kind of CPA'd with it. I played Age of Conan for a little bit and I actually really enjoyed it. It was fun. Don't know why I got super into it, but I just did.
F this guy, I never got fat.
Hey, that's good though.
And systems that are designed to be played one way may be played in a completely different way.
Wait, what?
And as a result, designing them becomes extremely fucking complicated.
Yep.
So, in an effort of avoiding vagity, let's go over an example from everyone's favorite MMO. It's the third expansion. You know, the shitty one, the Cataclysm. There was a PvP island called Tolbarad, and it was an open world PvP zone, much like Wintergrasp or later Trash Can. And it was designed to be a
Dude, I feel like WoW players just shit on everything, man. Okay, I don't know, dude. Even like Wrath has been so like, you know, hyped up for so many years. They came out, and now people like just shitting on that too. It's just, god damn it, dude.
Battleground, back when the game actually had two factions. The goal was to capture a fort, and the side that won had to defend against the other side that previously lost.
Shit game, ho.
So that's how it was intended to be played. But as it turned out, because attacking was way harder, it was made to be more rewarding.
Yeah.
Makes sense, right? Nothing could possibly go wrong with this. But
surely,
carrot shiny. So
gotta get
what
the
happened
carrot.
instead is that both factions came to a mutual understanding. Because winning through attacking was so much more lucrative, it was much more efficient for both sides.
You just let them win. You just take the L and you just let them win, dude. Exact same thing with Altric Valley, man. Altric Valley was supposed to be the super epic, cool, long battle. Everybody was always like, whenever people were talking about Altric Valley, like, oh guys, you remember the 3 days Altric Valleys? You would log out and then log back in the next day and it was still going. Nowadays, dude, if there is even a slight little second that you can see turns into a turtle, you give up or leave instantly. People are just different nowadays, man. They really are. Same with Wintergrasp when there was Skew, Exploit, and Wrath release. Wintergrasp is the same, dude. Like, it's this super epic, cool battle, like defend the fort, everything like that. No. You go do the most efficient thing. And if you see you're about to lose, just take the L. If you're defending, just go down, take all the towers, and then lose the battle. I mean, it's really sad.
To trade wins by losing intentionally when defending and avoiding a long, drawn-out battle that results in fewer rewards for everyone. Because who in their right mind plays?
How is this a problem, though? The player base has changed. We enjoy different things now. Not necessarily a problem. I mean, you can wager with yourself whether you think it's a good or a bad thing that the player bases are like that nowadays. But it's just a fact that people just play games differently nowadays. I think that's why some of those like single player games that gets released are really, really unique and cool, because it kind of takes away that whole thing. Because you don't have to be competitive with other players. And I think a lot of the times, because you have to be competitive, it kind of incentivizes that carrot to be acquired even faster that Matt Season is talking about, right? No one enjoys it, though. That's the thing. No one actually has fun in AV just running past each other. Yeah, because people don't really care about the fun. They care about obtaining the thing, because they think obtaining the thing is the fun, but it's supposed to be the journey up to obtaining the thing that are fun. Because most of the time, it's the same thing when you're raiding. Oh, guy, I can't wait to get all my gear. I can't wait to get all juiced up. But whenever you have all your gear, it becomes less fun, because now you have nothing to really chase, unless you really like parsing, I guess, right? Or you want to farm gold in a GDKB. Gets rank 14, finally I can play the game. Yeah, but then when you get rank 14, you just stop playing, you know? The bad thing about rank 14 is that the grind isn't really fun either. So it's just pain. Yeah.
Video games just to play them, right? What are you, a casual loser? So, because of this broken system, it was very difficult to get in when your faction was attacking, because while no one is going to queue for a fruitless guaranteed loss while defending, everyone is going to queue for the fruitful guaranteed win while attacking. So because of this, the number of attackers vastly outnumbered defenders, so much so that there wasn't even enough room for them. But you could cheese it if you were technically in the zone when your side won. And that's what this madness is about before you. This was the bridge dance that people would perform when they're trying to be in the zone when their side won, while trying to avoid being teleported out due to the battle being full. And not to stick on WoW too much, pretty much this exact same scenario would also be repeated in Ilum in Star Wars The Old Republic on its release. So not only does this cost a lot of time, it also costs a lot of money, so resources are more often dedicated towards the systems that are proven to work, as opposed to the systems that might work if the players fucking behave. Which is why you get another copy-paste of the Timeless Isle with every fucking expansion.
Dude, Mad Season! Throwing F-bombs, man!
And that is why most every MMO has a simple formula of level to the max, dungeon, raid, PvP, and then pumping microtransactions through every possible orifice. Straying away from this proven financially winning formula is an enormous risk.
It really is.
You need to look no further than New World as one of the most recent victims of deviating from it. And so, after like 30 minutes of monotone narration, we finally arrive to the truth that's about as depressing as my voice. If experimentation is absent, so too is innovation, and without innovation, there is no unknown, and without the unknown, there is no magic. And what you're left with is a generation that's very intimately familiar with the genre that is not going to change as safe iteration triumphs over the volatile innovation, and as a result, the player base collectively are more aware of this carrot and treadmill system more so than ever before.
Yep. It's true. I think WoW Expansion's history kind of follows that as well, where when it comes to retail, they make the most money of cosmetics. Yeah, I mean, for sure, definitely.
Regardless of all of that, always remember that the most important thing is to like this video and to subscribe to my Patreon, because I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Okay, I mean, very interesting video with a lot of really good points about it, I think. I think it's definitely something to... there's a lot of truth to it, I think.
For now, mortals. We hope you enjoyed today's video.
Okay.
See you again soon.
I think he is very, very on point with all of the stuff that he's saying. You could argue whether you think it's a good or a bad thing that the player base is now like that anymore. That is very, very changed. It's a very doomer video for sure, but there definitely is a lot of truth to it as well. He went from this wholesome, feel-good user to a doom and gloom, feel-bad content creator. I think he tries to take on a more serious topics and more like more different perspectives on it, which is interesting too. I think it's very good narrative way of doing it, and I think he brings up some really good points. This video is a masterpiece, goes up to Patreon. I'll link the video, guys, for the Mad Season video here, guys. Very, very good video, though. I think he brings up a lot of good points, and there's a lot of truth to it as well, for sure.